Hi, I'm Johnny Block. I'm the sports officer for 2014-15. So my role as an SU officer involves a number of different things. There's the obvious portfolio stuff, so that's the sports stuff that I take part within the union and within the university. So there's a lot of lobbying the university on specific student requests and demands and things like that. And in general, that's quite fun because the university generally want to get involved in it, and if possible they will make it happen, and when they say they can't make it happen, it's generally got a good reason behind it, but it means that I get to challenge those good reasons and kind of just be always playing devil's advocate. If you ever look at my diary, it's never the same from day to day. Tend to have kind of 9 to 5 meetings almost every day, which means that time management's key, and often means that when you don't do it properly, you can often be in the office until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and that's kind of not a rarity as an officer here. But it's really exciting. It does mean that every day is kind of new, and you don't always sit in the same meetings all day, every day. There's a lot of stuff on Varsity at the moment, so I spend an awful lot of time preparing for Varsity. As you can imagine, 70 events over 7 days. It gets a little bit intense, and the planning really gets stepped up around March time. I think it varies very much depending on how involved those students are. The more involved they are, the easier it is for me to contact them. We have mailing lists for the kind of committees for each club and things like that, and then also depending on how much they're in the union and the sports office, it depends on how much I see them face to face. We try to do as much contact out to them as possible, as well as kind of asking them what they want and collecting information for specific research projects that we're doing. For instance, like how much does your sport really cost you to take part in? So that's one of the things we've kind of done a lot of work in collating data from everyone. And then I also try and send out a couple of emails to everyone each week, updating them on how things are going. And then we each semester have a breakfast meeting where all the club captains from all the different clubs come in and get involved and get a free bacon sandwich at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, my favourite sporting moment was probably in second year we got promoted as a fencing club and men's first team. We got promoted from the 2A league, Northern 2As, to the 1As, and that was one of the kind of the highlights. And it was a really tough year, but we got through and we got promoted. And then that same year we did really well in the cup as well. So all in all, it was a really successful year for us, and it was kind of thoroughly enjoyable, winning nearly every week and things like that. And then one of the other highlights is because Varsity we don't have Varsity for fencing or mixed lacrosse. I hadn't actually got to take part in Varsity until my third year, where I took part in intramural Varsity. And although it wasn't the most competitive environment, it was still amazing, and we won, and it was really nice to kind of finally take part in Varsity. And then obviously to go on and win last year was really good. It just puts the pressure on for this year. So one of the highlights for this year for me was Winter Varsity, where we took around 600 students from the University of Sheffield and the University of Hallam, Sheffield Hallam, out to the Alps. We went to Val Thorens, and it was all about these two trophies here. So it was the Ashes to the Alps trophy and the Winter Varsity trophy, which the students did really well in, and we managed to retain both. And we came away with a 5-0 victory, Sheffield Uni versus Sheffield Hallam. So that was a massive highlight so far, and hopefully it sets kind of the Varsity tone for the rest of the year. Being 5-0 up kind of does put the pressure on, because counter to previous years, we might not be the underdogs this year, having won 2 years in a row. So I think that it really puts the pressure on all those taking part this year to kind of acknowledge their individual parts and their parts within the team to kind of really make sure we win this year, and make sure that Black and Gold retains the Varsity trophy, because that's what it's all about. And I really want to hold the Varsity trophy in front of 7,000 people on the ice.